Greetings YouTube, this is BJ Black from No Export For You and welcome to part 62 of my Let's Play of Amayui Castle Meister. Ah, Diethelm, I just love talking to you. Except that you're, male and everything. Alright, we're looking at something pretty old. And apparently inside the castle. There's a notice this going on. Did you notice the notice this? So anyway. This golem that didn't come from Fia, we've learned. There is a new symbol we found inside of it. Or amongst it. Wondering what this is. It's quite a bit different from most of the symbols we found so far in that this one is still in good condition. Well carved. Avaro asked Diethelm what he thinks of it. First, Diethelm is going to have Avaro's conclusions on the subject. Yeah, well, Avaro's wandering around looking at things as Avaro talk. Diethelm's wandering around looking at things as Avaro talks. Alright, got it. So, Avaro's going to explain what he knows. When he first saw it, he thought it was a bit different. Resembles other things found on the continent, but also a bit different. So it resembled? In various labyrinths around the place you find golems. But they're created by magic users. And on those, you'll find Festina language carved upon them. This is the Festina Holy language. We've mentioned it briefly, I think. It's also called the current magic language. So in comparison to Festina, there's also the old magic language, which was the old elf language. So Festina is kind of a bastardization that the humans made with their dialect and the old magic language in order to create something they could use. When Avaro was still traveling by himself, he would find that kind of language in various ruins. So, in the vicinity of this particular symbol, the magic language that he reads is... it's not magic from the magic language that gets these golems going. And further, there's in the castle something similar among the more delicate portions. But it's something Avaro doesn't quite understand. There are symbols, letters, that aren't in the Festina language, which the carvings continue to exhibit. According to the rules of the magic language, it shouldn't even work. But the golems in the castle continue to work and move and occasionally try and bash us in. So this is the first Avaro's seen of something like this. Which is why he says it resembles the other stuff, but it's a little different. Now, at first he thought it was something particular to Fia, being a goddess. But it's even but it also possesses similarities to these constructs that she hates and continually attack us. Alright, detailed things that Avaro's got it. For the most part, Diethelm also had the same impression. That it was an exclusive property in the vicinity of the castle. And that the castle would be the only place that did it. currently is something that Diethelm threw in there, and Avaro wonders what he meant by currently.
この技術はグアラクーナ城塞だけのものじゃねえってことだ。それこそ大昔には一般化されていたんだろう。ただし、ある特定の地域でのみだ。
So these techniques of Gualacuna Castle don't exist only here. A long time ago they were spread out amongst people, but only in certain geographical regions.
俺様はこれと同じような文様を見たことがある。それも一度や二度じゃなくな。
And Diethelm has also seen symbols like this before, and not just once or twice either. What the hell, Avaro? So there are places like Gualacuna, like 2 or 3 other places like it? If it was such a large moving castles and things existing as well.
そこまではしない。
Nope, he's not saying that much. Alright, quit being cagey. You're making Avaro nervous.
お前が勝手に緊迫感を出してるだけだ。俺様はこの文様を他の場所でも見たことがあるって言っただけだろ。
Yeah, Diethelm says that Avaro's just getting nervous on his own. All he's saying is that he's seen this symbol in other places.
俺様たち水遁獣の診断は結構インフルエンス王国内での仕事が多くてな。あちこちへ回ってる。
So, the aquatic beast Vanguard. Do you remember that carriage of his? Used to have a lot of work all over Influ's kingdom. So it went around here and there.
不
And
思議なことにある特定の場所では土地が壊れてるんだ。精霊も住めないくらいズタズタになってる地域もあるって話だぜ。
so in certain mysterious places where the earth is broken, even spirits won't reside there. Yeah, Diethelm's actually pretty knowledgeable for this, for being unable to hear spirits or anything.
なんでもインフルスでは大昔に神様と人間が争った戦争があったらしくてな。その名残だろうと言われている。
Here in Influence, a long time ago, the gods and humans had a hell of a war, and it's said to be, these regions are said to be a continuing casualty of that war. Oh, could this be the war with Fuchsia god? Recall that the Fuchsia was made a god after being immortal in a war between the present gods and some humans. Oh, right here. There were humans who obeyed the present gods and humans who wanted to resurrect the old gods. And there was a war between them. And Fuchsia was deified at the end of the war.
知っているのなら話が早い。大昔に行われたそれはフィユシア聖戦って名付けられていてな。実際にフィユシア様が軍勢を率いて戦った名残が今も残ってる。
Well, if Avaro knows that much, the conversation's that much quicker. So, this war long ago is called the Fuchsia Holy War. So, also among the military forces were the ones that Fuchsia led himself. There are also some remains of that military force.
多分お前たちも行ったことあるぜ。天古断層って地域がそうらしい。
And we've visited one of those locations that are broken. The Tenko Danso. You may recognize this background. So, that was one of the war grounds, was it? Now it's mostly got a bunch of beastman tribes. Let's see, what did I call this? The Withered Ravine or something? Anyway, there isn't much vegetation and the monsters are rather plentiful. So since the beastmen are stronger than humans, they're the only ones that really live there much. So the fact that land is so busted up is an effect left over from the war, huh?
あそこには壊れた遺跡なんかもあってな、調査や修復の依頼が入った時に行くことがあるんだが、そこで同じような文様を見たことがある。
So Diethelm was able to find some broken ruins around there as well. In investigation and recovery, well, requests for investigation and recovery, he'd gone there before and found similar symbols.
つまり城塞の装置に使われている機能はジョーちゃん独自のものじゃないってことだ。
In short, the emplacements in the castle have functions that not only Fia know how to use.
そうでなくてもアバロ、自分で言っていて気づかなかったか。この文様は何を基本として刻まれているものだ。
And Avaro, you were talking about it, but you may not have noticed. What is the basis underneath this symbol? Well, Avaro said it was Festina holy language. But now that Diethelm's pointed it out, he's realized something as well. The fact that Fia hates this symbol being carved on things means that Fia isn't the only one who can use this kind of language, or which this language is connected to. I wonder if in the introductory cutscene he talked about the languages more and how the language in this castle is different from Festina. I may have to look back at that. Okay, I get the feeling like I glossed over it in a hurry to get to the game. Anyway, Fia's the only one who can move this castle, but if humans also had access to language, then they could have done things as well. If the castle were a god in itself, then the old magic language would be the normal choice. But the castle is human-made, and clearly some kind of human hands were behind it, which is interesting by the lore. Well, the Gualacuna Castle, by its very existence, must have been connected to humans a long time ago. At least that's what these two are speculating.
この技術をジョーちゃんが作り広めたのか、人間の文化が城塞にも使われてるのかはわからないがな。記憶がないんじゃ本人に確かめようもね。
Well, whether Fia had these techniques and spread them about, or whether they arose in the human civilization and they created the castle, he can't say. And since she doesn't have her memory, we can't exactly ask her. Fia has no knowledge with regard to crafting, so it's probably the latter, right?
天候断層だけじゃねえ。インフルースの古戦場には似たような文様が残ってる。興味があるなら行ってみることだ。
So it's not the Withered Ravine only. Around Influence there are old battlegrounds, and you'll see this symbol here and there. If we're interested, we should go take a look. Do you guys recall, what was it, Kujiel ruins? We saw the first one, and then later on we had a scene with Diethelm where he revealed the second part of those ruins, which is the one with one of these symbols. So Diethelm's actually been pretty useful in this particular strand of our research.
そうすればこの技術の情報をもっと深く得られるだろう。
So if we investigate these places, our research into these techniques that made the castle, will probably deepen. Come to think of it, Fia said that if we went to the God's Haze, we'd understand.
なんて初めから目的地が決まってるんじゃないか。
So it seems our destination is our destination for more than one reason. I wonder if it really was one of these old battlegrounds. Well, we've had precious little information on what's inside. Could be. So, even though Avaro kind of doubted her with regard to this particular research, it seems she actually had something.
さて、俺様はもう少し調査を調べようと思っているが、お前は？
Alright, Diethelm thinks he's gonna keep looking around the castle a bit. How about you, Avaro? Hey, he'll come along. He still has recovery work to do. So that's that. What a rip-off, we didn't even get any mega power out of that. Which means it was so important to the story that it was considered important enough by itself. So I'm gonna give it a pass anyway. Yeah. I have in my notes something I need to do.
何か入れようか。
Shh. Quiet when I'm talking. I'm gonna buy one of these. These weapons that Diethelm sells, you can't actually build, you can't actually find. As far as I can tell, this is the only way you can get them, so we may as well take it. I think I've got a lightning book for Meister, that'll be really useful. Lightning bow for Fia. Oh, and a cold blade for Eel. I probably should have done this a long time ago.
はいどう。次も期待して待ってるぞ。
I already did my training at the end of the last video. Now, in addition, if we buy certain things from Diethelm, they become the basis for weapons we can build. I was pretty sure I had one or two. Here. This is a sword for Kisnir, which we needed his mithril sword for. And otherwise we had plenty of materials. Who knows how long I've been able to do this. Now this is one of his base weapons. Yeah, apparently I'm not ready for all of the things I could have been getting. Here the elfin bow that we got from Diethelm could be used to make an earth bow for Fia. Hey, it would boost my magic attack even more than my current one does. That's good because all I do with Fia is magic attacks. Hey, lightning sword. That's awesome. What I'm really looking forward to is this one, a darkness sword. It'll be for Kisnir and will mark my first darkness attack on somebody who isn't cripplingly weak against holy. And we're going to need darkness attacks later in the chapter. I mean, obviously, right? You guys remember the chapter name, right? It should be obvious from the chapter name that... Well, I better not spoil it, I guess.
Yes?
Okay. May as well make another couple of those. No buildings. Ah! I said to make another one and I forgot to click. Alright. I'm a little short, so I'm gonna review a bit of the information we've gotten regarding, in particular, Gaidal's identity and Fia's identity. Now, this continent we're on is, well, the whole world we're in, is the after result of two worlds colliding a long time ago. A human world and an elfin world. There was a war. between the gods, and a third set of gods that the humans created. Ultimately, the old elven gods won, and they're now called the current gods. The human gods, well, the gods of the human world, are now called the ancient gods. And then there were the artificial gods. The two latter lost, and they are no more. But again, there was that war in the aftermath, where humans tried to resurrect some of the ancient gods. Fia claims to be a current god, but the castle, I believe, is crafted by the artificial gods, the ones that the humans created. And as to Gaidal's identity, I think he's a survivor of the war between the gods and the humans that wanted to bring back the old gods. This is why he has such knowledge of the castle, and possibly a knowledge of what's in the god's haze. It's been passed down from his ancestors. In addition, I guess I'll leave off for the knowledge about the founding of Introduced Kingdom for now. Although I'm sure there will be some interesting scenes, I do have a couple little observations. However, I think I burdened you with enough monologues, so thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.